inspiration from the premiership race today. It is a game where there can be only one winner. And as happened so often in the past, it may well be decided by these two men, worthy opponents, bitter foes. Wayne Carey, the king, the skipper of North Melbourne, the inspiration behind the rules. And Glenn Jakovich, the rock-solid defender, who has the toughness and the skill to thwart the game's #1 superstar. It is the enthralling ingredient in a match to savour. From the Melbourne Cricket Ground, this is the first semi-final between North Melbourne and the West Coast.
Jacko and Carey, always a big build-up to that contest. For both players, especially Jacko, who you'd be closer to, a bit of pressure on him?
Well, yeah, there's always pressure when you're playing on one of the top players in the competition. I mean, it's similar with Michael Brennan on Gary Ablett last year. There's pressure that you've got a real tough job to do, but there's a lot of other tough jobs out there as well, and we expect Jacko to do his best as the rest of us.
I guess they'd expect Carey to do his best too, so it really does set up a terrific duel, doesn't it, as it does each time?
Yeah, it does, because you're talking about two players that are in the best in the competition, who go out each week to try and play their best footy, and it'll be a classic matchup, of course. And I suppose I'm out there, and it's when you're out playing the game, you don't take particular attention of that, but both players will have to work extremely hard for their sides.
John, you can't hide from the papers and things like that, and to an extent, I guess the Eagles, in Melbourne especially, a little bit have been written off, and after last week's performance they said, well, that's just about it for the Eagles. I'm sure you're aware of those sort of comments.
Oh yeah, we're certainly aware of them, and it doesn't make any bearing on our form once we run across the boundary line on Sunday. We just get out there and play footy, and if we're not good enough, then that means North Melbourne are a better side than us, but we'll be out there having our best shot at it.
Struggled a little bit, and North Melbourne haven't had a great season, so I think this has been the hardest for me to pick, although I've got a couple wrong too in the finals.
Haven't we all? Eagles banner. Let's take a look at the two sides this afternoon then, as selected, and you don't see too many changes from these, although North have been forced to make a change. Freeborn comes in for Crocker.
Yes, look, I think they will. Some of those midfield players, Scotty played on material last time, but whether King gets there or not, there are only minor changes. I think the structure of the side won't vary greatly. Where Carey may start at the game, as Dennis Pagan said, he'd only be there for 4 or 5 minutes. He'll certainly end up back at centre-half forward at some stage.
How do you rate North Melbourne this season compared to last? I mean, they got within a kick of you in what was a classic game. I mentioned that earlier.
Yes, look, I think they were better last year.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they were finished higher on the ladder, and I think we're running into the finals a lot better form than they were this year. They've just been a bit up and down at North. Down in the rooms, some Anthony of the key players this afternoon, yes. Played much better last week, I thought, and, he's been a player up and down. Archer, capable of a lot, just needs to finish it off sometimes, and, of course, Carey, who so much hangs on. Interesting with the final 8 they won last week. Really no return for that victory. Well, no, I mean... It's probably tougher for them this week in some respects. Well, it is. And I think that's what the 8 needs to look at. I tend to agree with Kevin Sheedy that perhaps the top 4 should get a double chance somehow. What about a key for the Kangaroos this afternoon? Well, this guy, Michael Martin, is an absolute key to the stingy North Melbourne defence. When he was in their side, they didn't get a lot of points. They ended up having a few more points kicked out with him when he was out with injury, and he's actually stilled that back line again. He's a dual best and fairest winner. He's a meanie. He doesn't like getting goals kicked on him, and I think the North Melbourne defence grows when Michael Martin's around. Both defences pretty stingy. What price experience in the finals? If we take a look at some of the campaigners for the West Coast Eagles, how important is that today? Well, I think it is, and I mean, a lot of these players have played in premierships, and in fact 2 of them, and they've got a great finals record, as Drew Morfitt said before. On the other hand, North Melbourne are playing their 3rd final series in a row, and that's always a good sign as well. Looking around, one of the key players. They need him to fire, Ryan Turnbull. Yeah. Craig Turley is back, of course, a final star. In some respects, hard decisions made for the Eagles because of circumstances. I mean, Lewis is out, but Turley comes back in. Hines is in. Match-hardened players. I think
in some respects, it could be an advantage for them today.
Well, yes, I agree with you, Turley. He's a hard runner, isn't he?
Yep.
He's not as quick, he's hard. A lot of the Eagles players aren't quick runners, Matera the exception. They're hard, consistent runners, and I think the MCG will suit them. I know they may be a bit flat if we take a line through Essendon, what happened yesterday from their game at Waverley last week, but see, the more I look at it, the more I'm starting to lean towards the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles have got to kick some goals. Jason Ball up forward has been down just one goal in his last 3 matches.
And I do think he is a key. If he can start at centre-half forward or full forward for that matter and kick goals, I think the other Eagles players will lift around him. They haven't taken a lot of marks up forward. The way they play is to tend to kick the ball wide and then bring it back in. But he's mobile, he's a skillful player, and as I said, he can really mark the footy.
That's impressive, isn't it? Above the MCG, looking terrific. Just one question, a question without notice. What score will win this afternoon? How many goals?
Well, I think that 11 or 12 might be, unless North have a real hot day, I think 11 or 12 goals might be enough.
You were talking about stingy defences. OK, we'll be back with all of the action. The first semi-final, it's the West Coast Eagles and North Melbourne right after this break. Is out for 95, and there they are, the 2 superstars. And look at them. First semi-final MCG. North Melbourne and the Eagles. North going to the left. McKernan goes up and wins it down decisively. Evans unloaded. Mainwaring over the ball. Rock got him. Metropolis dragged down. Scott flicks it out. Well done. There's a fight behind play. Allison and Worsfold. Meantime, Roberts soccers it well inside the 50. Lyle goes off the ground. Met by Longmire. The ball is out of bounds. There we go. Who would have thought it?
John Worsfold with his arms akimbo. Got me umpire. On the bench for North. Freeborn, a late inclusion. Scholl and Dwyer. North Melbourne in attack. Scott centres towards the goal square. Longmire. Brennan punches away. Comes to the front. No time to get boot to ball. Jakovic goes off the ground. Clears the 50. Chance for McKernan. Good gather by the big fella. Outside 50. Longmire sets himself. It clears the pack. Is that a goal? McKernan. Great start by the Kangaroos. A goal after 70 seconds.
Here's Corey McKernan. Really is an exciting player. That's good skills. Right on 50, kicking around the corner is a marvellous kick. Jakovic does the damage from behind in his attempt to stop Carey. And in that attempt, the ball cleared the pack and wobbled through.
McKernan, up he goes, thumps it down, Mainwaring, met very solidly. McKernan collected him, Turnbull towards half forward, Heady, an obliging bounce, kicks inside the 50, up in front Hines, pushed out of it, socket off the ground down there by Fairley, ricochets across to Ball, quick hands to Hines, a centering kick, Gehrig from behind, over Geister. He's marked only 20 metres out.
Yes, the young goal kicker from last week. Really good early. That's a good jump from behind. One of the things Geister will learn in footy is that if you feel that pressure from behind, particularly early in the game, all you have to do is try and backhand it and punch it.
Gehrig levels the scores.
Well, Dennis, when you asked me the question, what would the goal scores be at the end of the game, and I said, what was it, 11 or 12 or 12 or 13? If they keep going this rate, it'll be 58 to 61. And great contest there from McMartin. Hines playing full forward. Fairley tries to go off the ground. Lucky bounce. Lovely kick there to the centre of the square. 15 metres out from the top of the square is the perfect spot for forwards and runners coming at them.
Bounce in the middle by umpire Rich. McKernan palms it down. King, no distance with the kick. Back near the centre circle, overrun by Blakey. Waterman, he will take the free kick. Chris Waterman. There's a doubt that he'd play. In fact, a last-minute inclusion. He replaced David Hart. Out wide. Evans took his eyes off it. Hand pass in. A run from Metropolis. Bumbling kick towards the 50. Bond is there for the Eagles. Metropolis again. Gets round on the left boot. Steers the pass for Heady. But Anderson does particularly well to keep it away from the danger man. And the ball is over the boundary line. Robert Scott, who played his best game for North, last week.
Ball and Fairley, body to body. Falls down in front. Bond. Armstrong goes in solidly. Claimed by Waterman. And the bounce.
Just a couple of matchups, Dennis. Lyle on Schwash, Waterman on Rock, and Blakey's picking up Materia.
As we said, a glorious Melbourne day. Ball, clean possession. Lyle had to wait. Armstrong's got him. Ball jarred free. Schwass comes away, arches the back, storms up towards the middle, probing kick towards half forward. A beauty. Long mile. 60 metres out. Carey heads for the square. Jakovic in close attendance. Carey almost. Jakovic towards the boundary line. Across it goes. A throw in. So, as he brought the kryptonite today, we're about to find out. Glenn Jakovic and Wayne Carey, their first duel as we take a look at the North bench. Craig Scholl, pensive. Not his best year, as we said. Archer, clean possession. Goal!
So it's been a goal feast in the first 5 minutes. McKernan again having a giant influence, but it comes to Evans. His left footer out of the middle towards the 50. Fairly a good punch down. Laidley a gather, playing against his former team. Dean Laidley from half back to half forward. In the direction of Carey and Jakovic, and while they wrestled, Mitchell White went up. White sweeps the hand pass across the half back line. Worsfold looks like giving Allison a pretty tough day. Short of centre wing. Knocked towards the boundary line. So Geister might have been moved already. The ball over the boundary line. Deliberate want the crowd. Boundary throw in, says the umpire. Actually, Geister and Gehrig have come all the way up to the ground over the wing.
Robert Scott's on Materia at the moment. That's what happened early in the season. So they just had Blake on him for a while by the look of it, and now Scott's gone on to him.
McKernan knocked it down. King, Schwass is at left half forward, kicks it down towards full forward. Brennan's in front. Longmire from behind. Carey for North's third. Off target.
Interesting play that by Carey. Because Jakovic is such a great play, he really had more time than what he wanted, and Alex Ashinko looks on after playing in the seconds, which they won by a point. But Carey had more time then, but that's what the heat of a final started, even to great players. Sometimes you hurry. It's now been warned, Dennis.
Yes, not hurrying. By McKenna for distance. Oh, gets onto one right down the middle. Carey controls it well, getting early touches. This is Anderson alongside the centre circle. King, 45 metres out, lines up on goal. Nobody at home, it's a goal. Good start by North.
Interesting ploy that from Guy McKenna with that kick out. Very rarely do the Eagles go that long. Great play there from Carey. Lucky kick there from Anderson. And King, as we've seen often this year, has had a very good year, really. Young player from Port Melbourne. Interesting ploy. McKenna doesn't usually like doing that and wasting the footy. But he elected to go long, and they've paid the price.
McKernan's won the first 4 hit-outs. Make it 5, down to Schwass. Couldn't get a kick away, and that'll be a ball up near the centre circle. Well, Hines has gone off the ground already for the Eagles and joins Pike and Turley on the bench.
And Matura's gone to full forward with Scott with him, so that's real danger stuff there for North Melbourne.
This time Turnbull wins, but it goes to Smith. Smith of North Melbourne. Allison overruns. It gets to the back. Jakovic and Carey. Jakovic nearly loses his strides. Out to Simmons. Beautiful pinpoint pass up to Bond. And running past is Lyle. Lyle a long kick. Matera caught behind. Bit of wrestling going on. Matera's given away the free kick. Robert Scott.
Scott out of defence. Martin. Nobody playing on him at the present time. He runs up towards the middle. Too easy around Metropolis. Kicks down towards half forward. Jakovic goes up. Pay the mark, umpire. Nothing doing. It's a bit tough. Rock's over the ball. Rock's not happy. And a bounce. You can see both teams expecting justice in a game of footy. Bounce just outside the 50. White. Allison, nicely done Allison. Lost it. Waterman, good tackle Allison. Carey, quick hands. Armstrong smothered off the boot. Ray McKenna, almost a boundary throw-in.
Just as well it went through for a point. If it had gone out of bounds, could it have been deliberate out of bounds?
I've seen that happen. Umpires can be mind readers.
McKenna straight up the ground. Carey comes from behind, too late to spoil. That's a mark, surely. It comes to Carey, who goes for goal. Offline, Archer. It's through for a point off Carey. What about Lyle? Was that a mark?
Yes.
Yes, the rule is you must stop the ball, and I believe that ball was stopped then, so the mark should have been paid.
Carey, 2 behinds early in the game. And North are 3-3, Eagles a goal.
Brennan. Up towards half-back. Turnbull's in front. Schwass from behind. Schwass again. Great recovery. Pulls it back inside the 50. Brennan under the ball. In from the side. McKernan. He's already kicked one.
He's been phenomenal.
Just eyes for the ball. Wasn't that a great jump? I mean, most guys doing that would actually mark the ball overhead. Because he's so tall and athletical, he's marked it on his chest.
Important kick, this one. He's missed, has he? It's close. The behind. He started brilliantly, Corey McKernan, dominating in the centre. Interesting, if you go back to the game against Richmond, he was mistiming his jump constantly at centre bounces, but today he's been right on song. We saw Hines again, quickly off the ground, so a gamble up forward with Matera in the goal square for the Eagles. Metropolis deep in the back pocket. 3-4 to a goal. Metropolis back to Brennan. Now Brennan across the ground, Minder's side. Try this one. White's got it, confronted by King. This is Waterman towards the wing. McKenna's in front. The pitcher's behind. McKenna the half volley. Cleverly done to Gehrig. Gehrig forward of the wing. Goes looking for Matera. Down there is Scott, cast in the role of a full-back, if you don't mind. Smith slides in, knocks it out of bounds, and a boundary throw-in.
Well, it does look doubtful, but Robert Scott actually has played a little bit at back pocket for Geelong, as we watched that to do there with Dean Laidley. So it's not a foreign position to him. Foreign this year, I would suggest.
Now Mick Martin has gone on to Gehrig, and it looks as though Gehrig's going to run him all over the ground. From the throw-in, fairly for North Melbourne, towards the centre square. Carey and Jakovic were coming the length of the continent to see this duel today. Comes to Stuart Anderson. His kick is low inside the 50. Brennan to mop up for the Eagles. Towards the southern stand side to Mitchell White, who takes the chest mark in between half-back and wing. Closer to half-back. Now up to centre wing. And Waterman. Just slowing things down.
They do defend to the boundary line, don't they?
Well, Malcolm, there wouldn't be a man in Australia who knows how the Eagles play better than you, I'd suggest.
Look, they'll keep doing this.
Kemp to Waterman. Waterman's left footer, still short of the 50. A dive out there by Bond. Drops the mark, grabbed by Smith. Round the boundary line with a kick that was 3 times as long as any of the Eagles' kicks, and it's gone out of bounds at right half forward for the Kangaroos. Roberts coming off the ground for North Melbourne to be replaced by Craig Scholl.
North Melbourne, favourites as you can see. Roberts having a rest. Turnbull knocks it down. King. Schwass, who's been busy. Ominous signs. Schwass runs away. Well shepherded. Schwass with the right boot. Carey and Jakovic. White behind. Played it pretty well, and again to the advantage of Jakovic. Allison hitting solidly, but still in the field of play. Evans has it, back to Jakovic. Needs to be quick, is missed by Metropolis. Nicely done, good evasion made Waring. Let it bounce, back to Metropolis, to Waterman. Through the middle they come, down towards half forward Matera. Will it work this time? Yes. The isolation play, Matera about 40 metres out.
Yes, it's fine to do that, of course. You've got to get the ball down to him. This is his 3rd attempt at the ball, and the score's 1-1 and a draw. So if they keep getting it down there, you'd think that this guy's going to get some kicks, and it really is that extra yard of pace on Robert Scott that got him that kick.
Well, Michael Malthouse gambling, of course, has left himself open to a lot of criticism. One of the league's premier wingmen doesn't come off as a full forward, but I think he's got his first goal. He has.
Actually, there have probably been some doubts about Danny Metropolis in the Eagles side, but he's had nearly as many possessions as any of them with 5. Here's Blakey. Back to the goal square. Shepherded through, but onto the post. And a behind for North Melbourne.
Look, just going back to those 2 bench players in Turley and Pike, if we think about those, just watch this ball just float over the back and hit the post. It's not a bad ploy, is it? 2 runners fresh. Yeah. After Waverley, they looked a bit dog-tired in that last quarter, that they're both going to be fresh players.
If you can hold early.
Yeah.
Once again, the Eagles straight up the ground. They were robbed a bit earlier on. And this time it didn't find Waterman, and McKernan's got it again. But Corey McKernan is on fire at the start of the game. He's inside the centre square. Won't make it, and out to the right. Gets to the back of the pack. Brennan to Jakovic. Jakovic off the left boot. Last line of defence. It's still there. It comes to Rock. He paddles the ball back. Jakovic on Blakey. Might have given away the free kick. Now it is a North Melbourne free kick. And it's not Blakey. He's got to give it up to Anthony Rock. Southern stand side of the MCG. Just inside the 50 when he takes his kick. Need to be his very best.
That last kick from McKernan's actually held up in the bit of breeze. If you get it up high, probably you don't want to get it too high.
The kick by Rock. Won't make it. Turnbull got a fingernail to it, and through it goes for a rush behind.
Yes, Jakovic just touches him for a second high. Technically, the free kick was right. Interesting there, wasn't it? With that free jump with Turnbull, punch to the point, where I think most ruckmen and other sides probably would have marked it. Just that defensive aspect in this Eagles side.
9 scoring shots to 2. The margin is 12 points. Waterman hard against the line. Now Ball still inside his own defensive 50. Turnbull is on, in space. A runner cruises past. Turnbull carries the ball though, kicks it down towards half forward. Lyle and Laidley back the man behind. Laidley gets it on the ground. Mainwaring goes off the ground, gains about 20 metres, and across the line it goes.
A change by the looks with Carey going to Mitchell White and McKernan Jakovic. Well, now Jakovic is coming over closer to Carey.
They lose those matchups when the kick off from a point because they go to zone areas rather than player areas.
Aaron Crocker was looking on. Bad luck for him again today, missing out. Whistle and the ball up. Chris Mainwaring at the base of the pack. 32 possessions last week. A losing cause against the Bombers. McKernan started very well. Martin goes up this time. Gehrig beat him. Lyle slickly across to Heady. Great courage by the North players, one of whom's got it now, Schwass. Oh, nicely done. His 5th possession coming up. Well shepherded by Martin, goes across the ground. Scott got the bounce to Anderson. His kicking hasn't been good this afternoon. Normally a very good kick, and that was better. Carey spots a man. Longmire slipping from his mark out. He plays on. 25 metres out. North have got another one.
Early ascendancy to North. 10 scoring shots to 2. 30 points to 12. Turnbull beating McKernan nearly for the first time. Waterman leading kick winner on the ground. That went nowhere. Geister missed with his punch away. Back into a pretty hard cricket pitch area there. And the umpire will ball it up. Waterman, 7 kicks and 1 hand pass. Leading kick winner for North Melbourne is Schwass with 5.
I forgot what the rule was. I thought it in danger. It's a fairly high kick to me.
Turnbull again, but straight to Smith of North Melbourne. Fires out the hand pass to Blakey. It sits beautifully for John Blakey. Smothered by Metropolis. And very well done by Simmons to get it back to Metropolis. Now Evans. And Heady, centre wing. On the turn, up towards 50. Juggled mark. Well done by Ball. The hand pass out. A bit of trouble there for you, Braden Lyle. Kemp ducks one tackle, caught in the next one. Play on, says the umpire. Grabbed by Heady, a right footer is offline. It sits up for Matera. It's still there for him. concede some ground. Mainwaring hasn't been in the play yet. 30 metres out near the boundary line. He centres. Well done. And Evans marks right in front and 40 metres from goal.
Well, just the centre was a bit further back than what Chris Mainwaring really would have opened up play if it had gone to a North Melbourne player. But he was slung in the tackle, and I think the kick's gone about 30 metres back, too far away from goal. Very
interesting watching Matera there. He didn't get the ball, but the intuition, he knew where it was going.
Yes.
Yeah, he knew where it was going.
Tony Evans for the Eagles gets their third straight.
I bet you to say, Mel, that's something you can't teach.
No, the ball started to bounce, and you can see sometimes you can actually, if you're really on song, you can actually see the way the ball's going to land and which way it's going to bounce as you concentrate. It was just before then when Matera actually didn't go for it, backed off. And you'll see this here, Mainwaring sort of tackle, kicks. Oh, my word, that's gone back a long way. You don't really practice those ones in training. Here's a goal kicker, this guy too. Kicked 2 very important goals just before half-time in the 94 grand final.
Old wounds. There's Laidley, forward of half-back, down towards half-forward, Archer in front. Knocked away, Turley on the ground now. Rock, well done. Pops it over the top. Armstrong released into space. His second bounce running down towards half-forward. Matty Armstrong, good chip pass. Longmire bounced off his chest. Still he goes. Jakovic went in there. Carey, oh, strong work, Carey. 60 metres out, great effort. McKernan, 25 metres out, directly in front. He's already got one, narrowly missed a second, and is dominating in the centre.
And a wonderful kick by Wayne Carey, great skills. When he got tackled, he just tried to shrug the bloke off, and I think too many guys give up the footy in that instance.
It's good.
How does it happen? You're down in a mine, or painting a sign, or...
McKernan wins in the middle, fresh from his second goal. Rock lost control of it. Turnbull got a hand in there. Rock back after it again. Simmons off the ground, wide for Heady. Geister closes down Heady, but Heady around him easily. Into Waterman, who's been everywhere. We didn't think he'd play. We thought he was still seeing stars from last week, and he's carving them up. Beautiful kick to the 50, the mark by Ball. Ball actually in the last game at Princes Park in round 18 had McKernan as an opponent. This time they're at opposite ends of the ground. McKernan's just been brilliant. Already kicked 2 goals. Kicked by Ball, kept low. Martin at the back and a quick look. Schwass. Backwards he goes to Smith. From the last line, a thumping kick. Over half-back. Blakey got into the back of Metropolis and gave away the free.
Oh, gee, what was the difference between Matera's push down the other end and that one? Looked very similar to me. Different umpires.
Metropolis, forward of the wing. The Eagles leading Dean Kemp. Unsighted so far. Oh, great defensive mark. Geister up in front. The youngster, Schwass, who's been everywhere, to Laidley. The former Eagle, that should be 50. No doubting that one. Dean Laidley. There's the offender. Laidley, who made his debut for West Perth back in '84. The Falcons are in the grand final next week. Not thinking about that at the moment, obviously, as he goes down towards half-forward. Carey on the lead, almost. Hit the deck, socket forward down there by Armstrong. In the road, McKenna. Jakovic out wide, Simmons around the outer side. 5-6 to 3 goals. Simmons inside the 50. Matera under the ball, misjudged it completely. Fairley gets back, pushes across the line.
A couple of changes for North Melbourne. Freeborn replacing Geister, and Allison just off the ground, replaced by Anthony Dwyer. Allison has had a tough time with John Worsfold. Just over 3 minutes to go to quarter time. 36 to 18, North double their score. Ball down to Bond. He goes back with his hand pass. Turley to the goal square. Gehrig underneath it. Here's Martin and Heady. All over the line. And a throw in just alongside the behind post.
Interesting, Drew, that Dwyer's come on and virtually hasn't stopped running since he arrived. He's just slowed down a little bit now, but that would be the key, I think, just to run Worsfold around.
I think you'd want to make some space for yourself on John Worsfold at the moment. Look at that thump by Schwass. It's actually got a score for the Eagles, a behind.
Yes, it might be part of the plan, switching blokes, the quicker blokes on and off Worsfold, just to tire him out.
I'm sure. Anderson again miscues with a kick. Bounces towards the outer side. Well done by Blakey. Armstrong, quick hands. McKernan. Blakey again. Kemp. He circled the ball, couldn't get there in time though. Eventually the kick came out towards the wing, Mainwaring. Now with Gehrig. Goes down towards the half-forward line. This is Rock. Short one is on, very short. Turley has it, 60 metres out, sends it back towards full forward to the West Coast Eagles. Heady with courage going back. Free kick off the ball is going to the Eagles.
Right. I actually saw it, Dennis, at the corner of my eye, and Robert Scott did impede him from going for the ball in the air. Have a look at that. See now. Well, it's probably a bit of both now that I look at it. From my angle, which was the umpire's angle, it looked as though Scott tried to hold him back, and it may have been Matera just sucking his arm in to grab it.
Not too much to it. North had the run of the ball through the middle. And Freeborn coughed it up. And now Matera, a chance to make them pay. 5-6 to 3-1. The Eagles trail. Less than 2 minutes to quarter time. He's kicked his second.
And you have to say that the move of Matera to the full forward line, you just wonder if they're winning enough around the centre at the moment, the Eagles. And watch this again. See, Matera's just leaning on him, and Scott actually did hold him. And then Matera held him.
That looks bad, doesn't it? The arm wrapping around in front.
And Matera now back to the wing, so he might use his ploy a little bit, go down and kick 2. He'll end up with 8 for the day by playing half a game at full forward. And Robert Scott with him.
And Mick Martin's come up to a half-back for North Melbourne. Armstrong out of the middle for the Roos. To the 50. Archer charged hard straight at him. Jakovic off the ground. Archer gets around Brennan. Longmire paddles the ball out. Well done by Armstrong. Snap back to the goal square. Metropolis there for the Eagles. Oh! Scott has come all the way from fullback and almost kicked a goal. It's gone through for a behind.
Well, great play, isn't it? Isn't he an honest player, Matera? I mean, back on the wing now, and Gehrig's the third full forward for the Eagles. They've had Hines, Matera, and now Gehrig. So really trying something up forward.
As we saw Michael Malthouse down on the boundary. McKernan, big leap. He's been terrific. Blakey played it well. Kemp towards the boundary line. Still he goes. It's a cross. He's going to get a free kick. Lucky there. Then Kemp deep in his own defensive area towards half-back flank. Knocked away on the outer side by that man, Ross Smith. He's admirable. Well,
I think it might have been McKernan going over the top that looked bad.
It was a metre across the boundary line. It was a diabolical decision. It's grabbed out there by Scott. Back inside the 50. Brennan. Nicely done. Storms away. Less than a minute to go. And Laidley in the row.
Two number 7s now on each other. Laidley and Turley. 37 seconds left. A kick to the 50. Longmire up. It comes to the front to Evans. He's sandwiched in a tackle. Umpire Rich says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. There's probably time for one more score before quarter time. Sunny, a cool breeze at the MCG. Just a perfect day for a final. A lot of players around this ball up. Clean possession, Dwyer. And then paddles the ball backwards. King was there, couldn't take clean possession. Evans copped it up to Anderson. He's holding it, says umpire Rich. Eagles free kick. No time for any more scores. Worsfold up to Mainwaring. And I reckon the last 5 minutes of that quarter was more like what we expected, with a real arm wrestle going on, but it was a freewheeling scoring feast earlier on. And at quarter time, North Melbourne have an advantage. They've had 12 scoring shots to 5. And still the North players not happy with that last decision, and plenty to say to umpire Dennis Rich, who has all the experience and 3 grand finals behind him.
In all fairness, to that decision. I mean, once you're tackled with the football, you've got to make some attempt. All he did was stand up in the tackle, and I agree with the decision. He made no attempt whatsoever. The ball was free. He didn't do anything.
Let's have a look at young Stuart Anderson in this last tackle of the quarter.
He's not doing anything. He's just accepted that he's been tackled. And I believe that should happen more often. See, he can make an attempt to try and get the ball out of his hand. Do a Djakovic, try and break the tackle. He did nothing.
The North fans were booing because it gave the appearance of being a high tackle, just his body movement, didn't it? Certainly not high, that one.
That was a ripper tackle.
So 5-7 to 4-1 at quarter time. North 12 scoring shots. I think they have reason to be happy as things stand. We'll be back at the MCG with the first semi-final right after this.
Start of the second quarter, a 12-point lead to North Melbourne. The bounce favours Schwass. Plenty would say bounce it again. Punched out of the air by Djakovic. Gathered by Mainwaring. His long kick to the 50. Ball beautifully got rid of his opponent fairly. Take the chest mark. Matera leading from the goal square. Flags would indicate that Breeze is right. It ball's back here for this one. We did see some that looked as though they held up, and that one does too. Nowhere near it. And a mark to Smith. So the flag's on top of the scoreboard playing some tricks with us. To Armstrong. Round the southern strong shepherd off the ball. And the umpire has a word to Schwass. Ball's up near centre wing. The great duo go at it. Neither can gather. Metropolis, who had a good first quarter, out to Mainwaring. Here's kick to half forward. There's Schwass. Dropped the mark. Goes back to regain it. And again, runs into Pike just on the ground. Now King for North.
Long kick through centre, down towards Archer. Worsfold lost it. Scholl, too slick there for McKernan. Oh, well played by Scholl. Tied it up. Put some time for Archer, who was dragged off it. Djakovic is dragged down. They're going in very solidly. Archer picks it up. Hard work in there. Kicks inside the 50. Longmire's taken the mark only 35 metres out on a very slight angle.
Well, that was a great 50-50 contest from both teams and eventually won by North Melbourne. And it's amazing how your luck happens for you when the 50-50s.
55 goals on the season. John Longmire, his second of the afternoon. He's missed it. His best, 7 against Collingwood in round 14. Been well held by the Eagles over the years. Coming into this game, 26 goals in 11 games. McKenna drives it up the middle. A very good kick to Mainwaring. Either one of two. Mainwaring told to play on now. Whoa! As a result, they've got problems. Armstrong spins out of trouble down towards full forward. White's in the road. Gets the hand pass away. Awkward half volley. McKenna kept his head. Brennan still dangerous. Now they've got some time. Worsfold.
Worsfold's third possession. The hand pass up to halfback. Waterman outstanding in the first quarter. Metropolis approaches the wing. Can bounce again. Good run from behind by Armstrong. Up very early was Stuart Anderson. The kick by Turley is pretty close. In the goal square, Gehrig. Second quarter to the Eagles. It's 5-8 to 5-1.
Yes, and once again, Fraser Gehrig got in behind Geister. We saw him take a mark early. Turley did very well then. It was a wonderful kick under pressure. Great run from Metropolis. And almost to mark. Punched away. Steady and then kick. And you'll see Gehrig just use his body. Not much more experience than the play he's playing on, but enough to get a goal.
Margin 7 points. Turnbull slung. McKernan away to Rock, who boots it down inside the 50. Archer, that's a very clever mark. Well done. Glenn Archer will kick from right on the 50. (5-8 to 5-1), the early going of the second term. The loser is out of the competition. Bright sunny day. Crowd has built up, probably 50,000 now. Archer stubs it down towards full forward. Big pack at the fall of the ball. Opportunity for Allison. His first kick of the afternoon. Wide of the mark. Has been in the action though. That's not a contradiction in terms. as we go down to dinner.
Thanks very much, Dennis. Tony Evans has been patched up by the doctors. What looks like a broken nose.
McKenna takes his time again. And the kick is good to Brennan. Gets the hand pass to Mainwaring. Look at the experience in that trio. His kick just over the wing, Hines. Good to see him back. Probably an unlucky player this year. Kick by Hines to half forward. Turley can't take the mark overhead. Heady the hand pass. Mainwaring kept on going. The hand pass very wide and too high for Gehrig, but it comes back to him. He's dangerous from here. Fraser Gehrig off the left has kicked another one.
North by 2 points. Anderson to Rock on the wing. Not a particularly good kick. Worsfold thumps it towards the boundary line. Out she goes. Throw it out aside. Archer. Those that didn't get the call this afternoon. Anxious time. Will they have a chance next week? Falls behind. Kemp over the ball. Schwass over him. He attracts a crowd. And the bounce. Wayne Schwass has been busy so far.
Ice for the nose of Tony Evans.
9 possessions. Wayne Schwass, McKernan and Turnbull. McKernan doing brilliantly, but Simmons cut it off to Kemp. The Eagles need him to Pike. It's looking better for the West Coast Eagles, though. They're sharing this ball around. Fairley gets in the road this time. But suddenly, momentum has shifted. Fairley towards the outer side. Kemp and Schwass. The latter, favoured by the kick, takes the chest mark. Up towards left half back. Wayne Schwass unloads again. In from the side, McKenna got a fist on it and sends it 3 rows back.
Yeah, that was a beautiful jump by McKenna. Great defence.
Is Waterman now playing on Armstrong and Rock on Pike?
Turnbull and McKernan. McKernan's fist. Anderson's hand pass short of the 50. Djakovic with Carey. It comes to Brennan. Hurried kick back to the centre of the ground. McKernan, what a gather. Some sort of a hand pass. Not sure it was legal. They move forward. Smith. 40 metres from goal. Allison. Freeborn gets the hand pass wide. Armstrong off the left. A goal! North's first of this second quarter. And again they lead by 8 points.
There's intelligent tap out then from Allison. Freeborn with a quick hand, and Armstrong just got away from Waterman for one of the few times and kicked a lovely goal.
North by 8 points. McKernan. Centre square infringement.
Oh, bad decision, umpire.
North to get it.
Dwyer has absolutely pushed Simmons in, and the umpire's fallen for it.
McKernan's kick's a shocker. Justice is done then, as McKenna comes across the ground, heading for the boundary line, and it goes across. There's always a danger the umpire's not looking, and suddenly there's a man inside the centre square. Whoops, by the whistle. Need to see those things develop. Al did. A boundary throw in. Right half forward for North. We needed that last goal. It was a good effort by Armstrong. Dwyer stood up in the tackle. There's Armstrong again. His centering kick made for Carey. Got a right hand to it. Couldn't control it. Brennan's got him. Somehow he got it on the boot. He advanced the ball down to Longmire. Back it comes. Freeboard back to goal. 45 metres out. Gives it to King. Smothered there by Metropolis. In fact, it was an involuntary smother. Hit him in the face. Metropolis is stunned by all of that. Meantime, his teammates tie it up. Brennan comes up last with the ball and will have a bounce. And staggering around is Daniel Metropolis. He took the brunt of that kick right in the face. North by 8 points. There's the time remaining till halftime. Kemp dragged down. Good tackle. Simmons. Oh, well played by Freeborn. Gets the hand pass away. Dwyer under pressure. Snaps down towards full forward. Up in front, Longmire. White knocked it away. Taken high was Pike. And he'll get the free kick.
Gee, he might nearly have a broken nose out of that one too. It's about 3 and 5 minutes.
Yes, Pike and Kemp are very important to the Eagles, and they just start to me as though they're starting to feel the footy. danger signs for North Melbourne if those two start touching it consistently.
Freeborn and Dwyer, two interchange players for North Melbourne. Did pretty well in the setup there. Kemp took a very long time. Brennan marks at centre half back. Kenner back to Brennan. High one to the centre. Two. Straight to Wayne Schwass. And Schwass coming up for his 11th possession. Across the ground to Ross Smith. The kick by Smith to the 50. Carey and Jakovic again. With help from Archer. Couldn't mark. Carey balks the hand pass. Back to Archer. He's a chance from 50. A wobbler. Longmire. It bounces through. A goal to Archer.
Great poise by North. They were being challenged and they've responded. Inspired by this man, Schwass, who's dragged down by Mainwaring. And we'll have a bounce.
Dennis, it's almost as though Schwass is actually playing a kick behind the game. Kemp's following the ball down, and so Schwass is causing the trouble across half-back and across the centre line.
Yes, the kick coming out's got to be precise, and the last few times they found Wayne Schwass. Kemp dives in there, spills wide. King, nicely done to his own advantage, and a clever hand pass. Releases Armstrong forward at the wing, down towards the 50. Carey, Jakovic over the top, timely fist. Pike down in front. Jakovic runs on, hard against the line. Boots through centre wing towards Gehrig, who's got 3 goals. Turley dragged off it. King emerges with it. Goes down towards half forward. A rematch. Carey. Anderson had it, then lost it. McKenna's in there. Freeborn's got him and a whistle. Interesting stage in this game right here.
All up 60 metres from goal. Simmons high for the Eagles. Mainwaring missed it. Freeborn back to King. High kick, not a lot of distance. Only one man went for it. Brennan couldn't take the mark. Comes back to him. Allison for North. They're a chance here, North Melbourne. Anderson coughs it up. Kemp a good hand pass. McKenna comes out wide to White. White on centre wing, run down by Schwass. Just put him off his kick. Laidley did well. Smith, Scholl. North to steady. The kick by Scholl is perfect. Stuart Anderson, the youngster, marks in the centre of the ground. Puts it out wide to Schwass, who's giving Kemp a mighty run around. Wayne Schwass approaches 50. Gets rid of Kemp. Off the left boot. Look at this for a goal! No, touched. Everything right about it, except it's 1 point instead of 6.
Well, in fairness to Dean Kemp, as we see Wayne Schwass again, he loved it. Well, it almost got there. The Eagles were making an interchange, and Kemp had 2 men to man on the grandstand side. Lyle was coming onto the ground, but they certainly messed that up, the Eagles, and as a result, Kemp had no chance. 1 against 2. And a lot of space. Here's Metropolis in the back pocket. You get the feeling North are making their move right here. Carey missed it. Schwass again. They've really got to man him up. Pulls it back towards the middle. The mark is held by Mainwaring, who's trying very hard.
Well, if the 2 number 2s are on each other, at the moment it is 13-4 in favour of Schwass.
Jakovic up from half back. Simmons is on. He's got it on the wing. Jakovic goes past. Simmons elects to kick. Turley's in front down there. Gathers the bouncing ball. Downwind Hitty. Ball. Missed the ball initially. Then lost it. Blakey charges through. Look at the kick. Archer, 70 metres out, dropped it. Worsfold knocked it away. Worsfold hasn't got it. He'll get the free kick right half back. Takes a bit of doing. Glenn Archer deliberately missing the ball.
Once again, Kemp has just made some ground. You'll see this and watch that in replay. It's certainly a free kick. Now, Kemp's gone out of the side. Schwass has stayed back in the middle.
The Eagles working down the southern stand side. It comes to Dean Kemp. His little left footer is low on the bounce to Matera. A little hand pass back just inside the 50. Ball, say the crowd. Umpire is going to ball it up. Listen to the applause for Robert Scott, who really blocked up Matera then. He's doing a great job, totally different from last week when he was brilliant with his 24 possessions. Little hand pass Roberts to Fairley. High ball to centre wing. Jakovic and Carey went for it. No possession to either again. It goes to King. Back to Martin. Well out from goal. Mickey Martin to Anderson just behind the centre circle.
It plays on down towards half forward. Poor kick though. Longby was out in front. The kick favoured White. It goes to Worsfold. Now the Eagles will build from the back. Worsfold towards the outer side wing. Hines on his chest. 7-10, 6-1. Awkward half volley for ball. Left it behind. Martin charged at ball. Well done. The hand pass not good though. Martin again. Hines ties him up. Whistle and a bounce.
The last 5 kicks into the Eagles forward line have all got on the half volley. There hasn't been one direct kick in that 50-metre circle. And that's tiring. That takes a lot of time and energy out of your body.
Kemp lost it. Schwass is in there. Another whistle.
It's amazing. Once you kick one of those short, it seems that all your teammates start to do it too. That little disease creeps into the side.
Bounce. McKernan, well played. Roberts threw it. Intended for King. Turnbull takes the free forward of the right centre wing for the West Coast Eagles.
15-point lead to North Melbourne. 7 minutes remaining to half-time. Matera can't take the mark. Heady's been pretty quiet. Beautiful tackle by Schwass. Ball out of play. Well done by Wayne Schwass. He wants a free kick for it. Will he get a pat from the coach at half-time for it?
Yes, the ball was actually knocked out in the tackle, so that is play on.
Boundary throw-in. Chance for the Eagles, but run out by Roberts. Long, high kick. Here the chance. Jakovic punches down. Neither of them getting a lot of possessions at the moment, even though it's coming to their area, but it's body work and punching. And it's terrific to watch that.
Well, it is, and the defender will always win that one with it. More often than not, with players of 2 equal ability. Pretty important time here. They've stopped them a bit, the Eagles, but they need to score themselves now.
Clean possession, Roberts. Hurried left foot to the ball. It spills through the pack to King. Hand pass, Blakey. Has to go back for it. Roberts again. Almost across the ground. Pushed out for Scholl, no whistle. Sits up nicely for Longmire. 60 metres from goal. Short pass, Allison! Well, he's hardly done anything, but he takes an excellent mark within goal-kicking distance.
Yes, I thought Mainwaring was going to get to this, but the kick was just beautifully weighted. And he has that bit of a jump, as we saw. About that spot he took that Specky a few years ago.
And one of the marks of the 90s. Now, Brett Allison. He's had just 2 possessions to date. Kicks a goal.
Well, the Kangaroos showing premiership qualities right here. They've steadied brilliantly. McKernan, though, and his rucknop shark. And that's a mark by Ball from the...
Hand to foot to hand.
From the Lyle kick, yes. Barry Ablett would have been proud of that one. Jason Ball directly in front, kicks from 55. It's a towering kick. Oh, right on the line. It was played against the post. Surprised himself with the mark and the kick. Probably. There's the mark. How about that one? Do it again.
Yes. It's not a mark.
I practiced that. Yeah, it didn't go the required distance. You can't mark your own anyway. Blakey. Anderson. Only kidding. Martin down towards the wing. Armstrong. Scott arches the back and gets away. North Melbourne coming again. A centering kick. Simmons got hands to it. Freeborn will go off the ground. Gained only a couple of metres. Simmons went in. Then came out equally quickly. Down went Freeborn. The umpire calls for it.
Actually, young Glenn Freeborn's had 4 handballs, and 3 of them, I can remember, just set up some fantastic play, and he nearly got away with it then again.
Freeborn, a late inclusion for Darren Crocker. Turnbull wins in ruck. Still a chance for North Melbourne here at half forward. Ball up. 4 1/4 minutes to half time. 58 to 38. North Melbourne in front. They led by 12 points at quarter time. Geister and Rock on the bench for North Melbourne. Oh, McKernan with one hand, and then he threw it out. Lucky to get away with that. Goes to Pike. Outside the 50. Hines, good mark. good, strong hands in front of the other number 22, Roberts. Hines at half-back here.
He's their best target at the moment. Not their best kick.
Shocking kick with him for Simmons. That has gained 15 metres and gone out of bounds. John Northey, what a great day he had at this venue yesterday. Fantastic victory against Essendon. They're still alive, Richmond.
Thrown in. Hines knocks it down. Martin. Good evasion. Gains about 30 metres. Pike. Brilliantly done. Props. Back it comes to Waterman. Under 3.5 minutes till half-time. Hines. Plays on to Simmons. Confronted by Schwass. Brilliantly done. Schwass bumped it away. Held on too long. That's very unlucky.
At the moment, Simmons is hoping Hines doesn't get the ball and give it to him.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle down there at the moment. Simmons across the ground. Waterman flirted with the idea of going on. Not a good kick. Heady. Awkward bounce. Well done by Scott. Directed it down to Smith. How will this one bounce? Well, very high. Carey pushed Djakovic away. Archer kept it alive. Roberts taken front on by Metropolis. And down they go. The umpire will ball it up again.
When it comes to that Carey-Djakovic contest, they are shoulder to shoulder. Should Carey be trying to run him around a bit, lead more towards the ball?
Well, they could, but look at that tackle, great tackle. But unfortunately, the game plan of North is actually to kick it high and long to him, so he's not going to get a lot of easy kicks today.
Hines, Evans, nursing a broken nose. Gets an immediate fitness test. Another bounce.
8-10 North Melbourne, 6 goals to the West Coast. So it's 18 scoring shots to 8 and a 20-point lead to North Melbourne. Here we are in the centre of the ground with 2 minutes to go to half-time. It's not going too far at the moment. This is the tight, blocked-up game that we thought it might be.
These packs are tough now. This game really has gone up in the last 15 minutes or so.
And as we saw yesterday, a 5-goal lead at half-time wasn't enough for Essendon, so this is nothing, a 20-point lead. Mainwaring through the cricket pitch. The pass looks good to Gehry. He gets rid of a couple of opponents, goes to ground, clears a path for Heady, who snaps and misses, and the ball is out of bounds.
Unfortunately, Jason Ball was in the goal square, and Brett Heady, when you don't get a lot of kicks and you see a goal like that, a miraculous goal, you'd sometimes tend to do it because your confidence is down. And I would suggest that Brett Heady really did try and kick the goal rather than the team thing then.
1 minute 30 remaining till half-time. Ball and Fairley. Ball, that was ambitious from behind. Clean possession. Heady off his step. I think he's got it. No. Heady missing again. From behind. He was under pressure that time. Scholl. Up from full-back. Started on the bench. 8-10, 6-3. Hines dropped the mark. Roberts the better recovery. Didn't have it. Should get the free. He's at right half-back.
It's 3 blues in a row to Hines now. He's really got to keep his head up, get positive.
Wire, full-chested. Laidley. Scholl, forward of half-back. Unloads down towards half-forward. Carey in best position. Fisted away by Metropolis. Oh, brilliantly done by Allison to Rock to Longmire. And that should be 50. Well, not according to the umpire. But goes across and has a word. Very compassionate. It seemed that mark had been completed. And then the right arm over the top.
Yes, it actually was just an arm, wasn't it?
Oh. Longmire, goal! Didn't need the 50. His second.
So that's 4 goals to 2 in this quarter. So North Melbourne have actually started to eke out the lead that they set up in the first quarter. Great kick from Rock. He didn't have to change stride, John Longmire. And as we see that, it's really just a slap at the ball. And I thought a pretty good decision in the end by the umpire, although a fraction ever so late.
A Fraser Gehrig started the quarter with a couple of goals, but North Melbourne have kicked the last 4 and lead 64-39. Here's Heady. Seconds remaining to the siren. Here we go. It is half-time here at the MCG, and the similarity to yesterday is striking. The margin is 25 points. Yesterday it was 30. Yesterday 30 points wasn't enough. And will this lead be enough for North Melbourne today? They're 9-10 to the West Coast, 6 goals, 3. And the coaches make their way down to address their players here at half-time. But there was a lot of to and fro in the game, and when Gehrig kicked those first couple of goals, back were coming the Eagles, and then North kicked the last 4 now.
Yes, it was a bright start from the Eagles, but yeah, North Melbourne actually do look composed, dangerous, and I still think the key is Kemp and Pike. They really just haven't got enough of the footy. Pike spent the first quarter on the bench, and Kemp with Swash playing back of him, it really has caused some damage, and he looks a very pumped up player, as Wayne Swash. 13 touches to half-time is a very good effort.
Well, yesterday Nash hardly got a touch in the first half and then came out on fire, and we also had Daffy who did the same, so maybe a little break here at half-time can do wonders for the Eagles. They need to turn this around. At half-time it's North 9-10-64, West Coast 6-3-39.
Around that half-back line midfield area now, playing out of the goal square.
Seems funny with Sumich sitting in the grandstands. Start of the second half here at the MCG, and a backhander by Turnbull wins it for the Eagles. Schwass spun out of one, straight into another. And the umpire says, give it to me and I'll ball it up.
He does. Here's Ross Smith picking up Guy McKenna there. Wayne Schwash in the middle of the ground actually stands at the back, about 15 metres, and is on the bolt, as I call it. So he's got a lot of balls out of there. He's been a very good player.
13 possessions in the first half, Wayne Schwass, against Dean Kemp, who had only 5. And the other leading possession winner on the ground is Chris Waterman in the centre square for the Eagles with also 13 possessions. There's Turnbull with another fist of the ball. Ball back to Heady, who's run down in the tackle. Lyle to McKenna, who concedes about 20 metres, goes back to Waterman. Schwass goes through very, very hard, holding the ball, and eventually the free kick fairly. Schwass started the tackle, and he's come out injured, Wayne Schwass. Now that would be bad news for North Melbourne. Fairley takes the free kick, short of centre wing. Excellent leap down there by McKernan. Terrific mark. Kicked a couple of goals early, kick straight into Turnbull. Turnbull goes for the boundary line.
Once again, Drew, there's that West Coast mentality. I'm not saying it's bad. Just we watched this, and Swash comes through at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just collected legs there with Pike, but instead of grabbing the ball, yeah, it's just a brushed him, but straight to the boundary line.
Yep. There's Kemp, and over the boundary line again.
Just to follow that up again, Drew, most players would have grabbed it and then run around, as Matthew Capuano looks on, unfortunately injured early in the year.
Yes, he'll be starting his pre-season, no doubt, before Christmas. Looks forward to a good year next year. This is going towards the line again. Turnbull. Schwass back on his feet, keeps the ball in. He's out, ball's in. Eventually out it goes. Actually a little kick there, and it went out of bounds on the full off Schwass. He can't quite believe it. He's got to give the ball up to Tony Evans. He broke his nose in the first half. Kick short of the 50. Fairley did well. Kernan sweeps the hand pass in. Armstrong, who had an excellent first half. Centre half forward, the punch away from Carey by Jakovic. King, been all right on the wing. Mainwaring, King traps it. Well done by David King. Now Simmons for the Eagles. Little kick close to the boundary line and out of bounds near the interchange. And we've used up nearly 3 minutes of this half and nothing's happened on the scoreboard.
Just looking. Yeah, it's just accidentally hit his leg.
Thrown in. Martin behind the pack. Down towards the 50. Bounces out of bounds.
Dennis, I was just thinking of that Carey jump then. He really has to learn to jump early. Danny Frawley watching on. He has to jump early, try and keep his buttocks into Djakovic and try and jump early. I think that'll be the trick for him.
Worsfold crashes in. Metropolis. Brennan's hand pass, a little untidy. Mainwaring. Schwass is hurt. He's slow getting up. He tried to apply a tackle to Mainwaring. McKernan, meantime, has taken a very good mark.
Well, it's the second time this quarter he's been hurt, Wayne Schwass. I don't know whether it's a complication of the first or just he's added another one.
McKernan thumps it back towards the wing. Metropolis up in front. Armstrong well done. Schwass tests the fitness. Taken front on. Down he goes. And a whistle. So that's heartening. Or is it? Wholehearted attempt, you'd say.
Well, he's just throwing himself around like a madman at the moment.
Hines knocks it down. Taken away by Rock towards half-forward. Archer worked under the ball. Worsfold, the defensive mark.
Regulation hoots from the Melbourne crowd. Worsfold half-back to half-forward. McKernan can't take the mark. Rock. Here's Schwass again. Couldn't get a handle on that one. Well shepherded, and he takes them on again. Left footer, bumbles to half forward. Archer back to Roberts. Good setup by North. Kick by Roberts off the left. Long line, one out. Drag to the ground, will take the free kick. Beautifully open forward line for North Melbourne. And if John Longmire can kick long, as he has done already today.
Yeah, certainly got a smack across the face. And yes, free kick.
50 metres out. Goal number 3. What a kick.
Margin 31 points. Evans went very solidly. Got the hand pass away to Worsfold. Lyle from the wing. Probing kick inside the 50, intended for Matera, knocked away. McKenna down in front. Scott, who did the punching initially, does the backing up. And there's going to be a West Coast free. And the indication is that McKenna was held too long. Well, Guy McKenna directly in front. Will kick it goal from about 35 metres out.
Oh, yeah, not much.
Dear, oh dear. That is a shocker. Result. Guy McKenna kicks and kicks truly. Oh, very important decision.
Yes, that's quite an amazing decision. I was just watching Peter Matera go to that ball initially, and he doesn't trust himself in the air with the pressure of a body of Robert Scott behind him. And Peter Matera is just playing for the free kick rather than putting up his hands. And I would suggest that was called a very, very soft free kick. He did get rid of the ball and then just made himself spin around. But Matera's going to have to jump at the ball if he's going to be the focal point at full forward, which is, otherwise it's pointless him being there.
McKernan wins in the middle. Hines is on after Turnbull went off after 5 minutes. The start of this quarter. Here's Allison for North. Good gather. Bumped by his own man into the play. Allison for goal. Kicks out. Well, that was like a slingshot effect. And his teammate shoved him towards goal.
It's almost like a disappearing player, wasn't it? He got through some traffic where the Eagles player isn't trying to pick up what happened here. He went to go, Mainwaring peeled off to cover the handball, and Allison said, well, I've seen the goals, I'll go for it.
David King, well, Allison went from a plotter to a sprinter then after the push.
Back to 31 points. Ball beaten by McKernan. Evans hasn't got it. Rock comes away with it. Kicks it down towards half forward. The judgment shown initially by Brennan. Roberts finds it on the ground. 45 metres out. Snaps. White gets back. Concedes a behind. Turley and Turnbull. Things not looking good for the Eagles at the present time. Melbourne on top. Can they finish them off? The reigning premiers on their knees. White. Brennan. Nicely done. He's up towards right half back. 11-11. 7-3. Brennan for Hines. Fairly over the top. Spills to Laidley. Carey off his step back towards half forward. Worsfold is there. In from the side, Archer. Archer 55 metres out. Longmire comes on the lead. Great courage by Lyle. Going back and filling the hole. Took the mark. Plays on. Metropolis. Across the ground, a 2-on-1 situation. McKernan beat both of them. Remarkable. To Allison. Deserves a goal. Allison right on the boundary line. Great tackle. Got him down. It's still a live ball. Longmire. Freeborn. Goal.
The margin 38 points. Out of the middle, Armstrong for North again. High ball. Bounces off the chest of Roberts. It's still there. Shot for goal is offline and through for a behind.
Clever handle again from Glenn Freeborn.
You like him down there?
I think he's a former Wilford West Torrens player too, which has nothing to do with it. But that was just a smart gift to Roberts.
You talk about finals being won in bursts. North on a bit of a burst at the moment. Really, the momentum is clearly with them.
Yes, Eagles are more after goals this year in particular when they have done it. But it's hard to see it coming from somewhere though. Who's going to kick the goals?
Metropolis out of the back pocket to Waterman. Yes, that's been their problem for most of the season. And this sort of margin is tough for them, as we said at the half. Waterman goes towards the wing. Gehrig is up in front. Martin knocked it away. Ball missed it. Still McKernan knocks it. Only as far as Evans. Surrounded. Gave it away. Anderson slips away from Evans. Close to the line. Hugs the boundary with a kick. I think it pitched in the field of play and will be thrown in.
Well, Blighty, you say, where can their goals come from? There's Lee Friedman, one of Australia's leading trainers, watching on at the footy. And the two men for the Eagles inside the 50 are Matera, a wingman, and McKenna, who's kicked 5 goals all season.
Roberts directs it down. Follows up. Hard against the line. Behind.
Well, I'd like to say also that I know Siemens has had injuries and they've been out of form this year, but I mean, at least he gave them some structure at full forward. I think he's kicked 2 5s in the grand final, in both their grand final wins. So that's pretty important, quite significant, really.
Actually, just as I spoke, Matera's gone up to the centre of the ground, now back on the wing with Robert Scott following him. Here's Jakovic going for one of his familiar runs. Left footer by Jakovic to the 50. Ball. No mark. Gehrig the hand pass in. They're under pressure all over the place, the West Coast Eagles. Pike went without the ball, and that's a ball up 40 metres out right in front. So I think Gehrig has gone into the 50 now, and the only other man is McKenna, whose goal from a free kick earlier this quarter was just his 5th for the year. Loser goes out for the season. Simmons coming off for the Eagles. Battery replaced by Bond. Bit of a fumble back there. Good use of the body by McKenna. He uses Kemp. Concedes some ground. Here's Waterman. 55 metres out. Good long kick. Gehrig sets himself. And Heady. Play on, says the umpire. It'll be a baller.
It's pretty tight, you'd say that, wouldn't it? A tight goal square scrimmage.
The margin is 40 points. Here's the bounce. A couple of metres out. Fairley tries to knock it through. Gehrig stood up in the tackle. And they bring it away. Scholl's kick bounces back towards half-back. Step back in by Waterman. Kemp's got it. Now Kemp would be about 40 metres out. The margin was 25 points at half-time. And that in itself was a tough contract. Only once this season have the Eagles come from behind at half-time to win. Against Collingwood way back in round 2. Kemp misses to the right-hand side. 7-4, 12-13. Anderson comes off. Blakey is back on.
Short pass to Martin. Nick Martin, game 150 today. To Schwass, who has just been sensational, Wayne Schwass. His left footer out to centre wing. 2-1 North Melbourne. Blakey can't take the mark. Archer there with him. Jakovic gets it away from Carey. Finds Mainwaring. His high ball to the 50. They get back there in numbers, North. Mickey juggles it. No, didn't get first and second. He got first and third touches. Allison is there. Loses control. Kemp. Good hand pass. Gehrig. Run down by Scott. Matera's there. 48 metres out. Very high. Heady with Scholl. Scholl did well. Bounces off his chest. And he concedes it behind.
Yes, that's 5 rush behinds conceded by the Eagles, for North Melbourne. So they tend to play that defensive style.
Schwarz again in the back pocket. Averaging 22 possessions a game this season. At an excess of 30 last time these sides met. He's on that pace again as Rock goes towards Fairley. And Fairley bounces around the outer side, running it up towards the wing. Ian Fairley kicks down towards half forward. 2 Eagles up in front. Metropolis a little worse for wear, comes away now towards the middle, and Pike alongside the centre circle. They need something and they need it quickly. Pike goes short. Hines has it with the line of the square, the attacking side of centre. Over to Hines.
There's no flow, is there?
No. Very much stop-start at the moment. Hines for space. McKenna low down, spilled it. Well done by Smith. Flicked it up to accommodate King to Fairley. Allison storms through the middle, kicks towards the 50. Over the top ball, wasn't a mark. Lyle knocked it away. Freeborn again. Well done. Tries to paddle it out to McKernan. Ball slides in. Held to him. The umpire wants it.
Well, then it's a terrific contest when you're outnumbered like that. For the forwards to keep the ball in their arc just gives the forwards now another chance, all the on-ballers, to regather their breath.
When the crowd yelled ball, Jason Ball thought they were calling his name. Metropolis out of defence. Centre of the ground. Rock takes the mark. It's all North Melbourne at the moment. They lead by 38 points midway through the third quarter. Oh, that's a clever mark by White, backing into the pack. Back to Djakovic. Maybe a slight points advantage over Carey. Kemp crunched to the ground. Laidley playing on. 2 against 2 here. Chance for the Eagles. Oh, North, and Archer takes the mark. And a goal here would take the margin out to over 40 points. And you'd think there wouldn't be any coming back for the West Coast Eagles from here.
Yes, he's a slippery customer at Glenn Archer. He can take that special mark. He's strong. He's courageous. Just more times, just the 10th touch. But playing half forward, lining up for his 3rd goal, it's a pretty significant contribution from the youngster.
Glenn Archer only 20 metres out. North have kicked 8 out of the last 9 goals.
So we're talking 44 points now. Ball beaten by McKernan, worth a kick down towards half forward. Archer, he's got 3 goals, feeds it back. Armstrong off his step, bounces it down towards the pocket. Longmire up in front. White's there too, knocked it away. Archer again. Brennan. Well, he set Djakovic a task and Carey came over the top.
Oh, don't the North Melbourne people love that.
The roles reversed. Carey with the sit on Djakovic. He's taken this mark about 40 metres out.
That's incredible. Just 2 marks for the game.
Yes, but it's the way they play. Pretty honest play. The defender will always win that contest when it's kicked up in the air.
Kicking at his first goal of the afternoon. And this would just about do it. He kicks from the 50. It slides right across the face. Big pack at the fall of the ball. It's still in. Roberts flicks it across. Archer on his knees. Nicely done. Freeborn dragged down. It bounces across the goal face. White tried to trap it. It's out of bounds alongside the behind post. It's a beleaguered defence now. The Eagles really under pressure. Verbal as well. Fans are celebrating. There's the boundary throw in. It's premature at this stage, but North looking winners. Carey went down. Rock's got it. Flicks it over the top. Schwarz, he'll kick this on the afternoon he's having. No, misses.
Well, he did kick it. You were right.
Technically. Thank you, Malcolm. 13-14, 7-5.
21 possessions too. It's a big game. when he's at his aggressive best, isn't he? You can see it in his eyes. And provided he doesn't go over the top, he's just such an efficient run-through line player, isn't he? Dash.
93, North lost an elimination final to the Eagles by 51 points. Their only other meeting in a final. They're certainly making up for that. And the margin might be 51 or more the other way. Oh, excellent mark to McKernan. Slides off the hand pass to Laidley. North running amok at the moment. Oh, Bain Waring almost. The hand pass to a stationary Metropolis. Floats one over the top to Hines. He's caught by Schwass, so his hand pass astray. Waterman. Out wide towards the southern stand side. Punch from behind by Freeborn is disciplined. Here's Matera in a more accustomed position out on the wing. The hand pass to Kemp. Back to Peter Matera. He kicks him from here. Oh. On the bounce to Turnbull. Waterman in the centre. Lyle. Very high ball. 2 against 1, North's favour. Martin did well. Anderson just back off the interchange. Kicked by Anderson. Back to the centre. He hasn't kicked well today. That's not bad. Archer juggles. Archer marks. 92 to 47, North in front. Archer to Lombard. Almost. Mitchell White mops up to Lyle.
Archer's become a real factor. Again, as if on cue. To Fairley, the defensive side of the wing, not a particularly good kick intended for Schwass. Worsfold waits behind, needs support. Turnbull coming up from half back. He's got problems. Elects to punch it, gained about 25 metres. Laidley in trouble, feeds it back. Nicely done. Smith to Anderson. Not a particularly good kick, but they'll control it. Freeborn, quick hands. Armstrong away. Armstrong, probing kick. Carey. No, he dropped it. It bounced back to him. Brennan comes away. Boots it to the outer side and Gehrig. 13-14 to 7-5. Gehrig decides to go for a run. Look at that. He's much taller, but he pulls away from the man chasing him. Kicks inside the 50. An in-front ball. Not paid the mark. McKenna cleverly to Hines. Vacant goal square. This could run on. It bounces once, twice, and pulled up. Oh, and it's missed off the ground down there by Evans and finishes up another force behind. Well, how about that? Bounced on its point and came back.
That was just at the other end of the ground, if I can go back to that. Just, yeah, just not your day, is it? Absolutely not your day. But Kerry jumped early that one down there and nearly played it. That's what I was going to get back to, yeah.
It was almost like a mark Michael Roach took. He had to reach down for it. We got up so high. Here's Smith. Long kick to the centre wing, southern stand side. Gehrig at full stretch. The Eagles have kicked just 1 goal in this third quarter. Not nearly enough. McKenna to Evans. This time Evans gets the goal. 38 points the margin. McKernan wins in the middle. 3 minutes to three-quarter time. Brennan's there. He is crunched by Archer, who's been winning the football and making some really hard contests. What a tackle on Turley. It goes North's way through Blakey. Off the ground, McKernan floats the hand pass. It'll come back in his direction. There's Blakey. Paddles it out wide. Robert Scott back towards the goal square. Good kick from there. Was it touched? A goal by Scott. That's more the role he's accustomed to, not full back.
Yes, well, 14. About 40 metres out, the ball just floats. White really just not going after the footy. And I suppose if you're desperate, I mean, that was touchable, that. And, I mean, sometimes you've got to watch your man, sometimes you've got to watch the footy.
Margin 42 points. Schwass at the base of the pack, lays it off. Anderson on the overlap down towards half forward. They'll contest about 30 metres out. Metropolis has been pretty good this afternoon. Falling to the ground, claims the mark. Goes towards the outer side. All Eagles out there. Bond plays on immediately. Turley pushing up from half back. Goes towards half forward. Headies the target. Scholl is with him. Loose ball behind. Scholl will be first back. Heads towards the boundary line. Desperation shown there. Sliding in was Smith. He knocks the ball across and out of bounds. Familiar face, Alan Jeans, knows all about the pressure of finals. And that collar. Tossed in, about 40 metres out. Nobody touched it. It's contagious. Laidley got an unkind bounce. Evans, quick hands to no one in particular. Smith off the deck. Heady dragged down. A couple of them got him. Laidley and Martin. And a bounce about 35 metres out from goal. All but gone for the West Coast Eagles. They've got to get some late goals here. A minute 30 remaining in this third term. North Melbourne out by 44 points. Looking for their second win of the final round. Ball throws it on the boot. It went straight up in the air. Defiantly, Schwass knocked it out. Dwyer on his knees. Intended for Schwass. Well worked. Down goes Schwass. He got it from Anderson. Bond ties him up. And a free kick is going to Bond. Well,
that's when he didn't have it. That's unbelievable. I thought the first one was holding the ball, but not the second one. There's that one. He really didn't make any attempt there, right? He's still got the footy. And he really hasn't got the footy there, and Bond gets it. Got me.
Yeah. He's paid the kick to Bond, so obviously it was the second one. Bond misses. Yes, I was just watching thinking it was a regulation ball up. Didn't occur to me it was a free kick. And they've squandered it as we go down to Russell Morris on the boundary.
Yes, Dennis, in the desperation when Anthony Rock rushed to behind, I think he might have strained his hamstring a little. They're just testing him on the boundary line at the moment. He doesn't look too happy with himself, but that looks like a strained hamstring. Not good for them.
Last minute of the third quarter. Martin working well up the ground. To Scott. He's kicked a half forward. Carey had a tough time with Jakovic. Gets a push in the back this time. And the crowd rise to their skipper, Wayne Carey. But the stats way down on usual. Just taken 2 marks, and that's his 11th disposal. Centering kick to centre half forward. McKernan flies at the back, no mark. Evans under pressure all the time, the Eagles. McKernan just bowls an opponent over. Waterman clears. North Melbourne, you'd reckon at home, leading by 43 points at the last change. The Eagles have never lost 2 finals in the one final series. It's a long time since they lost 2 finals in a row, but it's going to happen to them in '95. And these North fans reckon it's all over now. Look at the jubilation for them. Just not enough goals from the West Coast Eagles. I suppose Mick Malthouse, Malcolm knew it was a problem when he came over here, but 8 goals, 7 to three-quarter time, not enough.
No, it has been a problem. In fact, a bit of trivia too. Their high score last year was in the grand final, which was wonderful, wasn't it? So they have been a struggling side. And just their structure up forward, I mentioned it earlier about Sumich not being there. Whether he's the right bloke or not at the moment, it's probably not. But I mean, you must have some semblance of a structure in the forward line, and to me, it just doesn't seem to be working.
No, well, this was their score for the 4 quarters last week, 8-7. Themselves anchored on 8-7 at three-quarter time here this afternoon. Michael Malthouse in conversation with Ian Miller, but you wonder what they can conjure from here. If they lose this game, it will be their lowest finish under Michael Malthouse. According to my reckoning, they will finish 6th. Three-quarter time at the MCG. North Melbourne marching on 14-14. West Coast faced with a real task from here, 8-7. Start of the final term, North Melbourne 14-14. The reigning champs, the West Coast Eagles, 8-7. McKernan, who's dominated, wins it down, but only as far as Evans. It spills out of the pack to Main Waring, who boots it with the left foot down towards centre half forward. Brilliantly done by Fairley. Backed himself against the ball, kicks it towards the outer side wing. Wayden Lyle, running mark, sends it back towards right half forward. Ball, unkind bounce. Laidley heads for the boundary. And that's effective.
Dennis, in that round 18 clash at Princes Park, the Eagles got their lowest score of the season against North, and they had a scoreless last quarter. North have won 18 of 23 final quarters this season.
Turley to Ball, off a step, it bounces out of bounds in the pocket. Another throw in.
So it makes the chances of a comeback out to about 100 to 1.
Yes. Gary Lyon looking on, loves his footy.
I think he's
Always
getting a
here.
quid for that. I think he might be on the boundary for a radio station.
Hates his footy, doesn't he? Here's Bond, deep in the pocket. Kicks it behind. Sneaking it in.
Yes, well, it means they've got to kick another virtually 8 goals, doesn't it, to win the game? So they've virtually got to double their goal-kicking tally now. Makes it very difficult.
Stuart Anderson, who used to play district cricket for Melbourne, used to be in the same batting lineup as Dean Jones, now is in the same football lineup as Wayne Carey. Not a bad double. Schwass makes his first mistake for the day.
A good forward defensive block there from Stuart Anderson too. Not supposed to do it to your teammates though out here.
North led by 12 points at quarter time, 25 at half time and 43 points at three-quarter time. So they've won every quarter by about the same margin.
Who would have thought they'd be this far in front without Wayne Carey kicking a goal too?
Ball. Oh, here's Schwass. It's been sensational. Schwass and McKernan, North Melbourne's best two. Though Archer really came into it in the third quarter. He took 4 marks and had 8 possessions, Glenn Archer, in that third term. 98 to 56, North Melbourne well in charge. There's Mick Martin, whose day might finish a lot better than last year when Ablett took that mark over him and won the game after the siren. Here's Bond for the Eagles. Whistle's gone. North Melbourne free kick to Scott. Held when he didn't have it.
Robert Scott, a jack of all trades this afternoon, out of defence towards the wing, and Blakey, clever, plays on immediately. King storms past, kicks inside the 50. Archer, he's been very good. The moment Worsfold lost it in flight, he was done. But Archer's been a real handful for the WA skipper. There goes the kick from Archer from 55. Not quite the carry. Big pack at the fall of the ball. Metropolis just put it on the ground. Longmire, that's holding it. No. Ball up.
Actually, it was interesting early with Worsfold. Dennis Pagan was running players off him. Allison, Freeborn, Dwyer, just running him around the ground. We mentioned it early in the call, and Archer's really taken toll of that.
Yes. And he set him up for Archer. Here's Allison. Sharp angle. Behind. 14-15. Producing broad smiles all round to 8-8.
There's 8 goal kickers North Melbourne to 4 goal kickers from the Eagles.
White to himself and then to the centre of the ground. Main Waring in front. The ball easily punched from behind. McKernan through King it goes. Freeborn for goal. There's another one.
The reading that you've given is too high.
It's becoming a rout. Main Waring strongly tackled. Schwass got in. The tackling has been a feature of North's play this afternoon. And their speed to get there. The Eagles just haven't had time. McKernan knocks it down. It spills to Turley, who comes away from the centre, kicks inside the 50. Ball comes up to meet it. Awkward bounce for him. Controlled it pretty well. Worsfold on the forward line now. Lobs it across to Gehrig deep in the pocket. He comes back to the middle. Hetty has to wait. He's taken this mark despite the efforts of Anderson coming back. And Hetty is directly in front and will kick from 15 metres out.
Yes, Brett Hetty had to stand and wait. Did it pretty well in the end. Anderson tried hard. This is a season that never got going for him.
No, it's a funny year for Hetty. 29 goals on the season. 3 bags of 5 against St Kilda in round 1. And both times against Fremantle. He had some days. Today hasn't been one of them. That's it in a nutshell. The frustration overflows, and so does the joy at the MCG in the first semi-final.
Goals the margin. Anderson's kicking has let him down today. It's probably the best one, about 10 metres there to Smith, and still in the back pocket. North will play Carlton on Saturday night at the MCG next week in the preliminary final. There's Anderson, a long kick this time to centre wing. At the back, Carey. Metropolis didn't have time. Kemp off the ground. Waterman's been their leading possession winner. Under pressure from Carey. Archer takes the ball over the boundary line and will have a throw-in.
I know we've mentioned just that Waverley factor. Both Essendon and the Eagles looked very, very ordinary last week in that last quarter, didn't they? They were very tight. And we've seen both results go the similar way.
It's been a killer, Waverley. Waterman, good hand pass. Wayne Waring caught by Armstrong.
It's probably fair to say, Mel, both these sides have a common history. A lot of players didn't play a lot of football, and I guess they've got that in common as well in this run home.
Look, Dennis, I think that's more the factor, really. The fact that they played out at Waverley last week was just a matter of the draw.
There's the hand pass over the top from Roberts. Ill-directed, as it turned out. Main Waring to Evans. Hugs the boundary with the kick. Up goes McKernan. You'd expect him to mark it. Anderson did well on the ground. Kept Bond out. Bond had a run at McKernan. McKernan has been terrific. It's been a lacklustre season from him, but gee, it's heartening this afternoon, as is that.
Once again, I thought he jumped a bit earlier. Got his hands out in front of his face.
Wayne Carey, short, 2-on-1. How did that happen? King's taken the mark. Longmire was coming on the lead. White made contact, and King slow to get up. So King slipping in behind them.
Once again, it's that slap, isn't it, from Mitchell White. He's done it a few times today rather than the punch.
Well, I think King would have hoped for Longmire to make a right turn instead of a left turn there. Get the body in between White and himself. Still, King's got the footy. Going at his second goal. Only a slight angle. It's tugged it left. 15-16. 8-9.
Haven't seen much of Wayne Carey marking today. This was just his third.
Oh, just almost out in front, wasn't it? Almost an early jump. Just a shade in it.
In the centre of the ground. Turnbull punches away. Scholl for North Melbourne. Man pass fell short of the mark. Armstrong didn't go the distance to Scholl. Oh, look at King charge at it. Brilliant. Schwass dropped it in the tackle. It wasn't Schwass, it was Scholl. And now North Melbourne free kick. And Mr. Matera is infringed, and Scott will take it again. Robert Scott from centre wing. Archer once more. Well, his second half has been fantastic.
I wonder if Robert Scott wants Kernahan next week. Let me at him.
Oh, well, there have been some strange matchups. We had Wangadeen on Gehrig.
You can get on with me.
Yeah. Glenn Archer. Right on the 50. Perfect kick.
Tonight, a new face presents the news watched by more West Australians than any other. From the Royal Commission
mobbed by dozens of supporters
to the 7 Nightly News Desk, Mara Pritchard bringing you the facts on the day's events.
Glenn Archer, 18 possessions, 7 marks, 4 goals. Simply outstanding. Turley claimed immediately by Armstrong. Maybe Evans in turn eventually to Main Waring. Main Waring dragged off the kick. It bounces down towards centre half. Worsfold worked out of it by Laidley. Socket forward by Eddie, but only as far as Martin. Martin gives it to Scott, and they work it out again. North Melbourne irresistible at the moment. Blakey from the wing towards half forward. It's an awkward floater. That's a clever mark. Jakovic going back with the flight of the ball. Plays on now. The short one to Kemp. Started slowly, gave a flicker in the second term. Metropolis has tried pretty hard. It's at left half back. Unlike Kemp, he started very well, Metropolis. This one holding up in the breeze. Anderson. Simmons got very high. Schwass, oh, brilliantly done. Released Armstrong. Kicks to the advantage of McKernan. Was marked directly in front, 35 metres out. He was the man who set the tempo early, dictated the terms in the centre. that point on, virtually the opening 5 minutes or so, the Eagles were always stretching to stay in touch. Corey McKernan disputing with Schwass, the best on the ground. He kicks another goal.
Well, Corey McKernan, a wonderful young player. One of that 3 goals he's kicked. He's had 9 kicks and 10 handballs, taken 9 marks and 16 hit-outs. He had a quieter second quarter. Schwass having a quieter last quarter. I agree with you, Dennis. These two would actually be vying for best on the ground.
Back in the middle, here's Wayne Schwass. Another possession, a mighty kick. Punch from behind was good. Here's Carey. Loses it in the tackle. No, the umpire said the tackle lasted too long. Holding the man, free kick to Carey.
Oh, this crowd of about 50,000 were absolutely wrapped in that. I think 49 of them all went up in the air then. He made it look good, but he certainly didn't have it. He probably got rid of it a bit unusually. In other words, he sort of dropped it onto his fist.
Well, he knew the umpire wasn't sitting in the front row.
53,759 in attendance today. Not really a bad crowd, over 50,000. Carey for his first goal of the day. He's hooked it.
Now, I think I'm right. When these sides played last year at Waverley, I think it was, I was just trying to think whether it was 26 or 36,000. So there's infinitely more people here today, whatever the number was.
White down the middle. Ball fisted away by Fairley. Simmons. Cross half back to Hines. Metropolis kicks towards the wing. McKenna bounces off his chest. He's had a black day. Not so Schwass, and that's off the boot, I fancy, of Metropolis on the full.
I think it was perfect play then from the Eagles, the way they play generally. Big Nick, great Carlton champion. Went wide again, Dennis, rather than actually there were players loose in the middle and they could have split the game open, but they tend to go that way. And when they control the footy, they're hard to beat that way.
Simmons is in there, so too is Blakey, dragged down. Evans could have been taken high, no free kick. Simmons hugs the boundary, in fact he floats it across.
So you can't kick goals quickly by coming out of the wing all the time.
Anderson spears one to the middle. Blakey's got it.
That's the difference. See North Melbourne do that more consistently. Now they'll go long to centre half forward.
Blakey out in front of Longmire, and that's a very good grab with the hands.
The Eagles just 2 points in this last quarter. Only 2 goals after half-time. Blakey in a poor position there, knocked forward by Metropolis. And a chance here for Laidley. Not quite. Off hands. Desperation in the goal square. And the Eagles very happy to see that one go through for rush behind.
There's 6 rush behind.
And John Longmire, as Blighty called it, the long kick to half forward. And there was the mark.
Yep.
Proving once again it's very hard to get premierships back-to-back. Waterman to the outer side, and then Waring.
I think it's just very hard to get them, period, Dennis.
But so many factors influence things as Kemp drives it towards the wing and White. Injuries are key, certainly. But this afternoon, the opposition put up by the West Coast Eagles has been disappointing as Lyle boots inside the 50, heady almost. Smith charged in, it's off the boot of McKenna. Well, they get away with another one, I think, the crowd claiming it was on the full. Boundary umpire a long way from the action, but the goal umpire couldn't help out. So a throw in. North Melbourne, who won their last meeting by, what was it, 62 points, up by 63 here. Over the top, Schwass fancies himself as a ruckman. Well, he's seen Scott at full-back, so why not? Ball's out of bounds and will be thrown in once more. And the joint should be jumping next week. Saturday night here at the MCG, North Melbourne and Carlton. Should be a beauty.
The Blues would be worried because they've won the home and away by 4 games, won their only final. You can't do any better than that. And if they get tipped out next week, they're gone.
Yes. Anderson to Smith. Waring favoured by the kick. Brilliantly done by King. Not knocks it out of bounds.
Oh, look, you just got to realise what North Melbourne have got to do. They've got to win 4 to win the premiership. 4 games against this sort of opposition over a month.
I don't think they'd mind this sort of opposition.
Oh, it eventually ties you, though, no matter...
Oh, yeah, sure.
Armstrong for North, up towards half forward. Lyle missed it altogether, but was pushed out. Lyle will take the free. Advantage to White. White up towards half forward. Martin peels back off Gehrig. Applies the tackle on Worsfold, but the skipper slips it. Centering kick to Bond, who marks too far out to score. He goes the short pass, and the Eagles might get their first goal of the quarter here from Evans, who looks a bit proppy. McKernan goes off the ground. It's a loud applause here at the MCG. Dwyer comes on for one of his few runs.
Yeah, it's a nice little chip there to the goal-kicking Evans.
15 possessions, but going for his 3rd goal. He's had some of his greatest moments here at the MCG. Big climb. Anderson clears off the line, not even prepared to concede a point. Well done. What was that, an on drive for 3?
Big stats from McKernan, aren't they? Once again, 3 goals, 9 kicks, 10 handballs, 9 marks, and 16 hit-outs.
Something you can't measure. The message he sent early in this game, simply terrific. Blakey, and it's smothered off the boot on his knees, shoveled it out. Well done by Armstrong to Laidley to Fairley. Still North run. Awkward for Scholl. Wayne Waring didn't spike it too well. Carey, a little looping hand pass. Smith storming up the ground from the back pocket inside the 50. Well done, Mitchell White. So the West Coast Eagles, their colours well and truly lowered this afternoon. This is Metropolis. But they have been the trendsetters in recent times, and you've got to give them their due. John Worsfold, not Mr. Popular. Lyle on the wing. Oh, terrible kick.
He's a hero, isn't he, amongst the North fans?
Resolute defender, drives it down towards half forward. Worsfold again, his opposite number, I guess, if you like, in playing styles and attitudes. Comes back to Waterman. Gehrig, ducked the head. Turley, off the ball. Schwass was held. He's going to get a free kick.
Yes, that's something he's got to learn, actually. He's not committed in the air at the moment, Gehrig, and you know, he gets a lot of his goals by running and leading rather than high marking, and that's something I'm sure he'll work on over summer.
Short exchanges, wait for the long one to half forward. Here's Anderson just behind the centre circle. He goes short to Blakey. Blakey, if he goes long, will be well inside half forward. It is a long one. Carey's there. Didn't get first touch. Hits the ground. Dwyer just on the ground, paddles for Longmire. Out in the pocket, concedes some ground. King coughs it up the ball. Wayne Waring. Good gather by Blakey. He lines up the goals, gets around Kemp, approaches 50. John Blakey, cap it off.
Oh, it's a goal.
I think it's a goal. It is.
About that scoreline, Wayne Carey is taking a rest. He's off the ground. And North have a few contenders for most unlikely goal of the day. Archer gives it to King. He's missed. Behind. It's target practice at the moment. There's Wayne Carey. By his standards, a pretty ordinary day, but he knows where they're headed. There will be 4 left, and the Eagles won't be one of them. Mitchell White. Kicks it out wide. Jakovic has to wait. Schwass did well. Got it on the ground. Free ball. Allison to Armstrong, who pulls it to the right-hand side of behind. I'm sure coming into play, the West Coast Eagles, because of the respect around the league for them, North Melbourne would have been not looking forward to this. So as a result, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of triumph, tinged with a sense of relief, as White will bring it in again.
Corey McKernan getting some treatment there. Kick straight up the ground. It's still there for North. Blakey has it punched away by Kemp. Anderson did very well. Roberts to Dean Laidley against his old side. Archer is there. Mopping up Metropolis. Comes wide to no one in particular. 2 North players a mile in the clear here. Schwass takes it. Scholl. A centering kick is good discipline. Allison for one of those climbs, but this time Lyle marks. Finds Waterman. Still tackling hard, the North forwards. Waterman gets it away to Lyle, towards the southern stand wing. And David King, the ex-Port Melbourne player, played in the finals last year for North and has done well here today. Almost gets to Freeborn. Mainwaring goes off the ground across the half-back line. White, the hand pass to Kemp. Just under 5 minutes remaining. The kick by Kemp towards half-forward. A punch by Martin, but doesn't find out of bounds. It goes to Heady, who runs to the 50. Nobody approaching. Heady goes for the goal. Hits the post. Heady goalless today. He's kicked 3 behinds.
Actually, just looking a bit ahead to Saturday night, Carlton have actually beaten North twice this year by 34 points and 19 points. So, interesting matchup now for next Saturday night.
McKenna marks the kick in. Not a bad try from Heady just moments ago. Very sharp angle. And McKenna goes short to Brennan.
They're still goalless in the final term.
Michael Brennan from about 60 metres out. Long kick, offline, Heady, deep in the left full forward pocket, snaps it. That's a great goal.
Qantas gives you even more ways to earn and enjoy your frequent flyer points right across the world. With American Airlines, Canadian Airlines, US Air, Scandinavian Airlines and British Airways, making Australia's leading frequent flyer program more rewarding than ever.
Evans didn't get time or have room to get a kick out of the middle there. And will be a ball up. A crowd chanting North Melbourne. Probably out of 53,759 here today, about 50,000 are going for North. And they've had their day in the sun. Without a dominant performance by Carey, so it has been a terrific victory here by North. Archer didn't get the hand pass away.
It is important to understand the way North Melbourne play. The fact that they kick it there and there's a contest there and Jakovic doesn't get the ball is equally as important as Carey not getting it. I should say. Other players run off him.
The same happened in round 18. Carey had no dominance that day and they flogged the Eagles.
Yeah.
Ball out of congested pack. Gehrig with Martin. Gehrig with all the pace. What's going to happen here? Hand passes over Mickey's head to Kemp, who has had the run around from Schwass. Kicked by Kemp to half forward. Heady finishing off all right. 65 metres from goal. Matera gave the lead in short. Heady goes longer to Brennan. Couldn't take the mark. Applies a great tackle, Michael Brennan. Play on, says the umpire. And the ball over the boundary line. Blakey happy to see the white line there. And the crowd happy with John Blakey's performance.
Ron Casey, who admitted earlier today to being very nervous. Well, that should have passed. Brennan dragged down to Evans. He's missed. Behind. Just over 2 minutes to go then. 18-20 to 9-11. The reigning champions have been thumped.
This has become a fashion, hasn't it? Waving the scarves and jackets.
Anderson. In short. Dwyer's got it. Players like Dwyer and Geister no doubt want to run it out. They're thinking about their place. Not guaranteed. Not 50.
Michael Brennan, Dennis. Talk is that he may consider retiring.
Well, I think he flirted with it last year, so I'd be very surprised if he went on. I mean, you wonder where the West Coast Eagles will go from here. A lot of mileage on some of those younger bodies. I mean, they're in their late 20s, some of them, but players like Heady and Worsfeld have done it very hard.
Good game today, Brennan. 9 marks, 19 possessions.
He might go on. Roberts, well inside the 50. Simmons dropped the mark. Schwass on top of him. On the bounce. North Melbourne terrific today. Disappointing, I think, over the course of this season. They had some good afternoons, but they won the pre-season competition. A lot was expected. They got away rather slowly. There's King marking just outside the 50. But they're coming at the right time. King towards the middle. Kemp gets back. Timely defensive mark.
Yeah, what was it during the year? Twice they lost 3 games in a row. Unusual season. Main Waring's kick over centre wing. Heady to run onto it. Dean Laidley back there with him. Anderson for North. The short pass in. It's just pinpoint at the moment. Bit of a training drill, sharpening up for Carlton next Saturday night. Dwyer. 48 seconds. Kick by Dwyer towards half forward. The body work goes on. It comes off hands to Gehrig. Long left footer by the ex-Wodonga kid. Inside the 50. Slap back out. Luckily to Matera. Brennan. And he's got it, Michael Brennan. He'll finish on a high note. Well done. Well, if that is his last kick in league football, let's hope not. A broad smile. He's finished like Roger Merritt did.
Yes, 24 seconds to go, and I think that's obviously a pretty disappointed side. Matera did pretty well here. Once again, didn't put his hands up in the marking contest, and Brennan always dangerous when has to sit on someone.
And that's only his 2nd goal for the season.
Only kicks them in the big games. 23 seconds to go. Roberts knocks it down. Evans, he's tried hard. Turley, claimed by Smith. Ball jarred free. It came back to him eventually. Armstrong works it to Roberts. Can they get another one? We're down inside the last 10 seconds. Simmons across the line of behind. And that will just about do it. The clock frozen on 2 seconds. In fact, 3. 18-21. 10-11. Metropolis in the pocket. Wait for the siren. North Melbourne go on. Handshakes all round. A resounding victory. The Kangaroos simply too strong. Michael Malthouse inbound. After halftime, never in the hunt. Wayne Carey back on the ground. Body language says it all.
It's a lot of shots at goals, Dennis.
Let's go down to Russell Morris now, speaking with one of the stars of the afternoon.
Yes, Dennis, well, Clint Archer. 4 fantastic goals from their supporter. What about the club, though?
Yeah, it was a great win. We always knew it was going to be hard today. West Coast are a great team, and also we had a win today.
You must be pretty happy that all the goals were shared amongst a lot of players today, or with Kelly then down.
Yeah, that's great. We didn't have to rely on Johnny and Wayne. A few of the other boys chipped in as well. It was good.
I heard that Dennis Pagan saying at 3/4 time to stop finessing and to kick long and just to really drive it down pretty quickly. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. That's how we've won most of our games, by being efficient, kicking it along into the forward line, not mucking around with it. And we did that in the last quarter, and we've come up trumps.
You must be pretty happy with your own form.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Had a couple of goals.
Yeah, some good strong marks.
Yeah, it was good to get a bit of form, for sure.
Now you've got Carlton next Saturday night, so obviously, what's the program now?
We can't get fitter than we are, so we'll just have a rehab session during the week and just try and come up and win on Saturday night.
Well, congratulations tonight. Good luck next week and go and enjoy yourself.
Thanks, Mike.
Good on you, Glenn.
Well, they may have lost, but Michael Malthouse making a point there to young Simmons as they came off the ground. But North Melbourne, they're in the spotlight. 4 teams left in the competition. Richmond is one of them. Terrific yesterday, and North Melbourne a similar sort of powerhouse finish today, although they did lead at half-time.
So, Dennis, the teams we have left are the teams that finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 6th. So North Melbourne have stepped up.
Well, I think it's good from the point of view of the final 8 that you do get 1st, 2nd and 3rd having a go at each other. Last year, the West Coast Eagles won a pennant without doing that. I mean, they beat, 8th, 7th and 4th to win the premiership. So I think you need in your final round for 1, 2 and 3 to get a crack at each other.
Well, Blighty, you've played in North's 2 premiership sides. You reckon these blokes might make it their 3rd?
As I said before, Drew, they've got to win 4. It's just a tall order at this time of the year to win 4 games. No one's ever done that before in the history of the game. 3 certainly. To get over Carlton. I was just thinking of Harry Madden, big Justin Madden against Corey McKernie next week, and you almost got your licking your lips, aren't you? Thinking, can the kid jump over the beanstalk or whatever you call him? You know, I mean, it's just a wonderful time. Did he play well, McKernie? Schwash that man there.
If you went back to the Friday night game against Richmond, we made the point before, he had a lot of trouble with his jump, didn't he, McKernan? He looked hopelessly out of sync, jumping at times and coming down as the ball was sort of getting to its zenith. But today, no trouble at all.
No, I just wonder, you've got normal daylight to artificial light, and you wonder if there's something in that with Corey McKernan. Interesting to see what unfolds.
Well, after dark may favour experience. We'll see.
Amazing story how Dennis Pagan virtually plucked him off the golf course and turned him into a footballer.
Yes.
Overnight he came out, won the under-18s game, kicked 13 in the final or something. Unbelievable. His first game.
Yes, you wonder playing at the national, or the Augusta course as he called it, or the Huntingdale, wasn't it? Masters he talked about, compared to playing in an AFL Grand Final. Well, I guess walking down the 18th is similar to walking off with a premiership medal.
In the Eagles' rooms, not much to be said about this. It was a lacklustre performance, some long faces there. Peter Simic in the background was picked in the squad, left out, but it's hard to say that any selection changes, anything done differently could have changed this result. They simply ran out of legs and I guess it's fair to say ran out of heart in the run home.
Yes, back-to-back premierships, you said, Dennis, are difficult. It is